Okay, we're going to do this technique twice, and this is the first one. And in this movie, we're going to make the letter T, and we're going to have it give us this 3D effect. And the main idea of this effect is to use the Gestalt principle of closure, where we kind of imagine a shape based on what the form is actually doing. And what I'm getting at is that this is a shape that I can move out of the way, and it leaves that. Let me just delete that. And it leaves that negative space in here that starts to form to our mind's eye, fills in the negative space, and it starts to look like a letter. Now, because it is a T, it potentially does look like a three-dimensional shape. It may not necessarily be a letter form, but when we start working with other letter forms, it'll become pretty obvious. So let's take a look and see how I set that up. Okay, so we're going to go for the letter T, and just so that we're all on the same page, I'm setting this up with a 19 by 20 by 1080p, or I say 1080p, 1080 pixels screen. That way it'll match the screen that I'm creating this video in. So I'll go ahead and create that. I'm going to reset my essentials. So if you want to be on the same page with me, go to essentials and reset that. And now I'm going to bring in the stuff that I like to work with. So first thing I like is my layers. It's in here somewhere. So I'm going to do an F7. That calls up my layers. I'm going to sneak right in there if I can grab it. Nope, didn't get it. Let me see if I can. There we go. Nope. Try it again. There we go. And I'm going to put it on top. Okay, the other thing that I like to have is my Pathfinders. So Shift Command F9 if you want. But there it is. Open that up. And I'm going to be using this. Put that up there. So I'll use this every once in a while. I'll be using it in the first example. I'm going to show you a different way that I'm going to settle it out when I have rounded text. Okay, the other thing, just to make my life a little bit easier, I like to see the swatches. So open that up, and I'll park that. Get it? No. Got to thread the needle here. There we go. And I'll put it right underneath there. Okay, the other thing that I like to do is shut this off. And what this does is it tries to isolate the pixels. I'd show you, but I want to get straight to the 3D effect. But it'll snap to a 72 pixel grid if this is on whenever you move a shape around. If you've got snap to point will take priority, but if you're trying to get lines finely tuned, it's not going to work. In fact, I'll show you an example in the second movie why this is a problem. So I'll go ahead and turn that off for now. Okay, so let's make a letter T. I think I've got everything I need. So I'm going to click in here, type in a capital T. I'm going to select the whole thing, make that into 600, big T. And let's make that into a nice blocky classic shape. So we'll go ahead and use Futura. And we'll use Futura Bold. The better to see it, my dear. So we'll go ahead and make this into an outline. And we'll select one of these tools. Either the selection tools will work. Shift Command O makes it into an outline. Now I can go to the alignment, and I'm going to double check and make sure that it's aligning to the artboard. And then I'll just go ahead and center it on my page. Okay, so I want to be really accurate for now. I mean, the distance and the adjustments that I make are really my own choosing. They can be whatever you want, but just to be consistent, I'm going to rotate this first 45 degrees, and I want it to rotate backwards, so that's going to be a negative 45, just like that. And I'm going to hold the Option key down, and I'm going to give myself a spare. So I'll hold the Option key over here because I'll need this to realign everything. It'll make sense here in a second. So I want to control the distance in here, so I'm going to double click on my selection tool. And in here what I want is a 90-degree angle up. I'll just type in 90 in there. And I want the distance to travel, I want it to be let's say 50 pixels. And so the 50-50, pretty good. And if I do the preview, you can see it move up. That's what I want. Okay, but I want a copy. Okay, so all I need to do is select the whole thing and subtract the front. So I'll go to my Pathfinders, and it's somewhere in here. Where are you? Here it is. And so subtract front minus front. And there's my 3D, not done yet. So now I'm going to select this guy. And just so that I can see him a little bit better, I'll go ahead and make it into a different color. And I want to grab this guy, and I need this corner to line up with this corner right over here. So I'll grab my direct selection tool, and I'll grab that point there, and I'll drag it down in there. Not done yet, still got a couple of more steps. Now that looks fine if I just want a shadow, although I'm not crazy about that color. If I just want a shadow, that's fine, but I want it to look 3D. So here's the trick. First, I want to select the points in the background, but I can't get to them because the red text T is on top. So I'm going to send it to the back, Shift Command left bracket. That sends it to the back. Now I can come over here and grab that corner there and click it. Oh, I thought I could. Let me send that to the back again. And try that again. There we go. And there we go. That's what I want. I want it to snap right to that corner. And you can see what's starting to happen. I want to do the same thing with this point over here. And this point right in here. So that's my T. And you may want to leave it like that with a top on it, but I didn't. The whole point was to use this to get that Gestalt closure thing going. And so then you get a block in here. So the next letter that we do is going to be the letter B. That's going to be a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to do a separate movie. Otherwise, this movie will just end up being too long. So the next one probably be just a bit longer. So we'll go ahead and get started on the next one.